Welcome everyone here and at home. We will begin our Board of Commissioners regular meeting January 15th, 2026 at 7:02 p.m. Ms. Jones, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Roberts.
Present.
Commissioner Hall.
Present.
Commissioner Buffalini.
Present.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
Present.
Mayor Anderson.
Present. Item number 3 is prayer and pledge. Dear Lord, I would like to thank you for a new year, new goals, prosperity, and new just purpose for our community. I pray that each commissioner up here seeks your guidance when we make decisions for this wonderful community. I pray for each and every citizen, for health, economic prosperity, and safety. Thank you for all that you oversee for us and the care that you give. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4 is mayor's comments. Officer Nicholson, thank you for being here tonight and watching over us and keeping us safe. Thank you to our community members and others who are here tonight, and all of those at home. We appreciate you watching and being involved in helping us make good decisions for you. Everyone who speaks, please be courteous and respectful. And with that, we will start our meeting. Item number 5 is citizens' comments.
We have 4 tonight, Mayor. The first is Todd Kastner.
If you would please give your name and address and tell us if you're in the city or county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Todd Kastner. I live 3210 Del Rio Pike, unincorporated county, up near Franklin. So, good evening. I'm Todd Kastner, and I'm currently running to serve as county mayor for Williamson County. As you know, the Republican primary is May 5th, it's about 4 months out, Cinco de Mayo. My goals are to first protect our neighborhoods and schools, ensuring law enforcement is well-funded and effective. Second, preserve our unique rural landscapes, uphold our conservative Republican values, and celebrate our distinct, unique heritage. Third, to prosper. I firmly believe that we cannot tax our way into prosperity, and Williamson County cannot continue to subsidize the rest of the state. We should not be the piggy bank for the rest of Tennessee. I would like to share a real brief synopsis of my background. I left Brookdale Senior Living at the end of last September, where I was the Executive Vice President of Corporate Development and President of 2 large operating divisions. When I joined the company in September of 1984, we had about 24 employees. And when I retired out at the end of September, we had about 38,000. In my role, I led the design and development and construction of building approximately $1 billion, $1 billion of senior living communities across the nation. I also led acquisitions, dispositions, joint ventures, and much of our capital formation. In 1997, I was a leading member of the management team that put the company on the New York Stock Exchange. In addition to my corporate experience, I was a commissioner on the Williamson County Commission from 2013 to 2018. During that time, I had the opportunity to learn how the county operates and to develop a comprehensive understanding of county finances. When I served on the county commission, we were building schools at an amazingly fast pace, but it was the right investment to make at that time. We incurred a lot of debt, and most of it is still with us. I was the commissioner who came up with the idea of the education impact fee, which has resulted so far in $200 million of proceeds for schools that would have otherwise been debt. That was paid for by the home builders. As an aside, our state has debt of $266 per capita, which is a pretty low number. Our little county has debt of $4,044 per capita. So our debt at the county level is like 15 times as much as it is at the state level. And now we face the upcoming cost of building the jail and juvenile justice campus. If the Williamson County Hospital ends up being sold, provided that we can get the legislature to amend the current private act restrictions to enable the proceeds of that sale to come to the taxpayers, as they should, those proceeds could potentially fund that anticipated cost and prevent an increase in our debt load. Fundamentally, we need to be treated more fairly by the state. The state shorts us on reimbursement for education as one example. If they would just pay us the average that they pay across the state, we would have another $135 million per year, which would greatly assist in our retirement of our debt. Roads, oh my gosh. 85% of our traffic is on state roads and state highways. Since 1990, our state population has grown by 47%. We don't have a whole lot of new roads. Our little county, our population has grown 238% in that same 35 years. So we're 3.3 times the size we were, population-wise, as we were in 1990. Yet we have very few new roads. I can count about 3. The state's own numbers claim that we had a $10 billion, with a B, backlog statewide in 2017. Today, their figures, their numbers, estimate a backlog of $35 to $39 billion across the state. In other words, it's gone up 3.5 to 4 times worse, 3.5 to 4 times worse in 8 short years. Clearly, the current road funding effort at the state level needs to be rethought. As mayor, I will use my decades of corporate executive experience to save taxpayer money by negotiating better deals, streamlining government services to foster a thriving environment for families and businesses, and reclaim revenue by working with the state and federal governments. I will work with the county commission to cut waste, reduce unnecessary spending, address infrastructure needs, and tackle our county debt, which is too high, and continue our first-class education for our children. I'd like to thank the Fairview Commission for your dedication and service to your city and our county, and I applaud your far-sighted thinking. Thank you. And I'll be around afterwards if anybody wants to ask questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Andy Marshall.
Mayor, this wasn't planned, but I'm Andy Marshall, also running for Williamson County Mayor. And Todd and I keep bumping into each other. I told him we should carpool. I'm a longtime resident of Williamson County. I've been here since I was 13 years old. I've built several businesses, and I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Marshall,
you want me to tell you?
I do. I'm
Yes.
so sorry. Just state your name and address, and then
Yes.
you can continue.
Andy
Just for the
Marshall.
record.
Yes, Andy Marshall, 8645 Belladonna Drive, College Grove, Tennessee,
Thank you.
unincorporated. Thank you. So I grew up in this area, and I've got great passion for it. Williamson County has had a long list of passionate leaders that were smart, hardworking, and I'd like to follow that. I've grown businesses in this county. I started in the grocery business, later in the restaurant business. I now own Puckett's Restaurant with 11 restaurants across the state. I too have great experience in running a business. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I'm a problem solver. I like that Todd took time here to explain some of the issues that we'll be facing. We're going to need strong leadership to do that, but that leadership also needs to be collaborative, and it needs to unify as we go along. I'm a unifier, I always have been. I'm a builder of people, builder of businesses, builder of communities, and I would love an opportunity to serve as the Williamson County Mayor. So I appreciate this time that you've given us to come up here and introduce ourselves, and I would love to speak more with you later if so needed, but I appreciate the time. God bless you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Kelly Maxon.
Hello, my name is Kelly Maxon. I live at 7014 Lonesome Dove Trail. I live within this, right outside the city limits. My husband and I and daughter moved here about 3 years ago from Bellevue. Homeschool family, and my daughter wanted to try the high school a couple years ago, so she's at Fairview High School. And I heard about Young Life on social media, and I attended one of their meetings a couple months ago. And I really feel like this is something that could really help some of our teenagers in our community by bringing Young Life here to Fairview. A lot of the Williamson County schools have it within their schools, but when I found out that Fairview didn't have it, my heart just went out. I said, we need to have something like that here in our community. I don't know if you're very familiar with Young Life, but they really mentor the high school kids. We are looking for leaders, whether that be parents, college students, anybody who really has a heart for raising these kids up in this day and age. I don't know if you've got teenagers or if you've seen what teenagers are going through today, but the anxiety, the depression, the drugs, all of the pressure that's on these kids, they just really want somebody to walk alongside of them and just believe in them. I know one of the men said at the last meeting, he said, they're not gonna, they don't care what you know until you care about them. And that's why Young Life believes in making connection with these kids at school, whether it be at their football games, their basketball games, a cup of coffee, dinner, or their jobs. They just want someone to care about them and believe in them. And these are the kids that are going to be the next generation. They're going to be sitting in all of these seats here. And if we don't pour into these kids now, they're the ones that are going to be taking care of us when we retire. So I really feel like this is a great organization that we can pour into our kids and our community and make it really special because Fairview is growing. And I really feel like our kids need us. So we have an interest meeting. It's January the 26th at 6:30. It's at 7310 Overby Drive, Overby Road. That's First Baptist. One of the teachers at the school got wind of Young Life and trying to bring it here, and he is leading this up for us, and we're really would love for the community to get behind this and just show up for the interest meeting and find out how you can be whatever you can do for sharing Young Life and getting its presence here in Fairview. Thank you.
Did you say that was at First Baptist Church? Okay.
It's not a church-sponsored organization per se. It is an independent
was just trying to-
organization, but
yeah.
yeah, so we would love it for any of the other churches to help get behind this, host a meeting, or just be a part of it as well.
Okay, and what time again?
6:30,
On January 26th?
Monday, January 26th.
Okay.
And it's just an informational meeting. Just,
All right.
can I give this to anybody, or should I leave this with anybody?
Thank you.
Last, we have Rick Bilbrey.
All right. All right. I just got a few things. Mainly, it's just about zoning and stuff.
Mr. Bilbrey, can you just state your name and address for the record?
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's Rick Bilbrey at 7520 Horn Tavern Road, and I didn't know. Okay. Sorry. It's got a couple of points. The first thing is the rezoning. Is there a way y'all could maybe request people if they're going to do new rezoning on a property to at least contact the adjoining property owners or the neighbors? Because I had no idea that this zoning for this development's literally right behind my house is going to come up at all. And then I have a few points on it that I was going to bring up. I know that they're going to, I guess, do a new reading or whatever. But has there been a TDEC study about the drainage? Because right behind my house, the two hills, they funnel into the valley, and it goes behind there into the guy's pond kind of, and then it goes back down, and then supposedly it goes to Lakeland Club, and they're a conservational club, so you might, you probably need to make sure we check all the boxes before we get a major approval on that. And then also, I was going to see if there's any way they could maybe try to maybe save some of the mature trees that are on the border of the property, because a lot of them are oaks and they're keystone trees, and they're also, it take 30 to 50 years to get to their size. And I know that we have a Tree City emblem and stuff, but lately most of the developments, they've been just straight bulldozing everything to the nines, and it would be nice to, withhold our Tree City status for as long as we can. And Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6 is approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Jones?
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Item number 6 passes 5-0. Item number 7, public announcements, awards, and recognition. A is city events. Mr. Darty?
Thank you, Mayor, Board. Mr. Ross has gotten this year's events on the calendar. They're available on the website and at the meetings, and if anybody has any questions, they can always call City Hall. He left me something to read here. We would like to thank everyone for their support with all the city-sponsored events last year. Our first event is our Easter egg hunt, and it will be Saturday, March 28th at 10 a.m. at Bowie Nature Park. If you have any questions regarding any city event, please contact Richard Ross at 615-387-6140. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7B is audit presentation. Mr. Darty?
We had I don't know how many years, I think it's the 5th year in a row that we've had a clean audit, and we always learn a lot with working with Blankenship and Mr. Britt and Mr. Adams. But Bob Adams is going to give a brief synopsis of the audit and where we are financially. And I just wanted to tell the board that we appreciate working with them, and we learn a lot every year going through this process. Thank you.
Thank you. As Tom said, we're here to present the June 30, 2025 audit. Everything went really well. Unmodified clean opinion, as Tom said. And proud to report there were no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in the audit report, and the report has been issued and is on the State of Tennessee Comptroller's website. Next slide, please. So what are the objectives of an audit report? So basically, we're here, our primary objective is to ensure that the numbers, balance sheet, income statements are fairly presented. That's very important when you go out and get grant funds, when you need to issue bonds, et cetera. We do look at internal controls as well. It's part of planning the audit. We don't express an opinion on the internal controls, but we do look at them pretty hard during the audit. Next slide, please. So financial position of the city is in the audit report, $37 million of assets and about $19 million of liabilities and about $18 million in net position. The chart up here tells you that out of all the assets, 49% of them are funded with liabilities, 51% of them are funded with basically current and previous years' net income. Next slide, please. This just shows you a classification of all the revenue sources in the city's audit, primarily driven by sales tax and property tax in this past year. That comprises roughly about 66%. Next slide, please. City has a strong balance sheet, has $11.6 million in fund balance, and about 57% of that is unrestricted. And then income statement-wise, the expenditures did exceed revenues in the audit. However, those expenditures were funded from previous years, basically with bond proceeds was the primary driver in doing that, and there was a lot of capital projects going on. And then also proud to report the last bullet point there, overall expenditures had positive variances versus the amended budget. I know that takes a lot of planning and monitoring during the year, and and the fact that all the expenditures met budget gives you some good assurance that money is being spent in accordance with how you budgeted. Next slide, please. Uniform guidance audit, or otherwise known as a grant audit, was not required this year. And the threshold of that is, I mean, there was grant money that was received and spent, but if it's above 750, actually if it's above $1 million in the next audit, it does require an additional compliance audit. However, I will advise the city does have, and that number might be, it's been 6 months since the end of the year, but at July 1 of 2025, there was about $2 million of unspent funds from some previous COVID monies received, and you do have until December 31 of 2026. When that was first issued, it seemed like a long way away, but now we're within 365 days of that, so just something to monitor there. Next slide, please. This is just an emerging matter slide for governments throughout the state of Tennessee. Probably the biggest things is, there's, as we've seen in the last few years, there's been inflationary pressures. The best way to combat that, that I've seen that a lot of cities, including Fairview, do is when you have cash on the books, if you can, I know y'all get interest income, and that is just a great way to combat inflationary pressures, especially when you got the cash and you can just make that cash work for you. You are limited on what you can invest in, but there's some good options out there. I know y'all constantly monitor that. And then one thing we're seeing a lot of that's I've probably seen more in the last couple of years than I've seen in my whole career is cybersecurity threats are a big, they're becoming, unfortunately, they're becoming a bigger risk these days. It's obviously an external threat, but we just, the state of Tennessee recommends this too, is have a good cybersecurity policy, and we recommend you update that or evaluate at least every other year. It's just an ongoing battle. I think that's everything I had, but if you have any questions or need any other information, I'm happy to provide it. Again, thanks to the entire team at the city for just being great stewards of the public's money and being great to work with on the audit.
Any questions from the board? Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Item number 8, staff comments and monthly reports. A, Planning Department report. Mr. Greer.
Good evening, Board. This is for the period of October 1st through December 31st. We issued 43 single-family home new residential permits, 19 townhome permits. Our department reviewed 22 projects. And then to give a couple department updates, the Planning and Codes Department, along with the Parks Department and City Administration, are working with GovWell to implement our final module titled Events and Facility Management. This will allow for vendors to register for city events such as Nature Fest, Arts and Crafts Festival, July 3rd, and for citizens to register for city programming that takes place within the Park Department. This improvement will allow citizens and vendors to both submit documentation and submit payment online. And then all of you received the final draft of the development code tonight. Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative, TPUDC, has completed the final draft, and citizens have access to the final draft and the final draft map. Bree or Keith, could you put click share it for me for just a moment? On the City of Fairview's home page, at the very top, there's a big banner that says Final Draft of the Development Code. If you click on that, it'll take you to a page that lists out all of the public meetings that will be had, along with the final draft and the final draft zoning map. That are both of the items that will be discussed and ultimately voted on. For training, our building inspector, Mr. Tom Ponder, attended a building inspector conference to obtain continuing education credits. And then we have several dates that I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of. We have 3 public hearings that we're going to have with the development code process. The first one will be at the Planning Commission at their regular meeting on February 10th. The second one will be at the Board of Commissioners at your regular meeting on February 19th. And the third will be at the Board of Commissioners' regular meeting on March 5th. There are also there's a work session for the Planning Commission on January 26th at 6 p.m. and a joint work session with the Planning Commission, the Board of Commissioners, and TPUDC on January 27th at 6 p.m. And that completes my report. Just wanted to make one note. In your code that you have, the last page is a 11 by 17 sheet that folds out, and that is the zoning map that is in the last page of your code. The Planning Commission members will receive theirs tomorrow.
Any questions of Mr. Greer from the board? Thank you. Item 8B, Public Works Department Report. Mr. Daugherty.
Thank you. The Public Works Department, this is for October, November, and December. They maintain stormwater drains and ditches throughout the city, cut back low-hanging limbs throughout the eastern zone of the city, repaired, replaced, and installed 38 city street signs, removed fallen trees blocking the roadway and driveways at the end of Sugar Maple Drive, oversee the installation of the new concrete structures on Northwest Highway, Chester Road, and Horn Tavern Road, help put up the Christmas decor at City Hall, set up for the Christmas parade, and perform crowd control barriers and traffic signs for the parade, completed the chipper service for the month of October, completed the leaf route service for the month of November and December, removed dead trees, put back existing trees on the clover leaf on Fairview Boulevard, State Highway 96. They also did 31 additional work orders on right-of-way and properties. And that is the quarterly report for Public Works. Thank you.
Mr. Daugherty, do you know where those 38 street signs that were replaced are located?
I think they were in multiple places. I can get that and send it out in an email, just where each individual one went. But I don't know where every one of them went.
Okay, I mean, that was kind of, spur of the moment, but I get asked sometimes about street signs, so I just kind of thought if I had a list, I would be able to answer that question. So.
Okay, I can get that out.
Any questions from the board on Public Works?
I have one, please, Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Mayor. The culvert down at the bridge on, or the crossover on Horn Tavern, is that one, it's not being done yet, is that on the list to be done, where it widens that crossover?
Yes, I know there's work scheduled for the American Rescue Plan funds on Horn Tavern. To know exactly where the location you're talking about, I can get with you after the meeting and make sure that exact location, but I know there are a couple of jobs on Horn Tavern.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Mr. Doherty, do you know when they're going to be done with Chester, and are they going to they're going to repave that?
It will be repaved, but it'll be once the asphalt companies reopen, probably be in March. But we will keep an eye on it and keep cold mix in there where it's not a terrible drive.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. 8C, Parks Department, is Bree doing that one? Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm happy to report that the Parks Department is off to a great start this year. Our first Bowie homeschool session filled up within 4 hours. We started our registration on Monday around 10 a.m. and by 2 p.m. it was full. So that is now waitlisted. Kirsten, Zena, and I are headed to our very first conference in February. We're going to the Association of Nature Center Administrators Conference at Warner Parks, February 20th and 21st. So we get to do some networking, see what other Nature Center employees are doing, and see what kind of programming they're doing as well. We have two different types of citizen science programs going on. So one type is Project Feeder Watch and the other type is Nest Watch, because January's theme is birds. So we have Project Feeder Watch happening every Tuesday and Wednesday, and we also have Nest Watch happening every Wednesday. We have received the land trust sign, thanks to Commissioner Hall. We have selected a location. We are just waiting on the install. And we have also fixed our visitor counter. It was fixed in October. We are now getting readings. I don't have that with me tonight. And I don't have that chart because we don't have readings for like 6 months of 2025. So moving forward, I will have readings for 2026, but I'm going to compare it to the readings from 2024, if that makes sense. Okay, so 2025 summary. It was an amazing year. We had our Bowie Storybook Trail installed with our very first book, Hugo and the Impossible Thing, thanks to our wonderful sponsors, the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation, the Friends of Bowie Nature Park, First Bank of Fairview, and our local Publix. We brought back 2 new events, Fall Fun Day and World Bee Day. We installed our Kindness Rock Garden out by the Treehouse Playground, and we renovated our outdoor turtle enclosure. We had one organizational project where Publix came out and planted trees, but they also came out and dug the post holes for each storybook trail frame, which was awesome. And then we had our typical programming. The most important part of this slide is that program growth chart to the right. If you notice, every metric in 2025 has surpassed that of 2024. So in every single way, our programs have grown, which is amazing. Here's some flashbacks from last year. This just features some pictures of our citizen science programs, some partnerships, summer camps, homeschool, our Bowie Storybook Trail opening, our Kindness Rock Garden, the beautiful brand new mural on our restrooms at Bowie Nature Park. And this is kind of just the essence of why we do what we do. All right, now we have some 2026 goals, so some stuff coming up for this year that we're really excited about. We plan to swap out the book on the Storybook Trail every 6 months. This year's is already selected. We're going to be doing Run Wild by David Covell in April, and then in October, we are working with a local author, Allie Davis, to display Clara and the Constellations, which is really cool. We are planning to host 4 summer day camps, so about the same as last year, with the caveat of adding a half-day mini camp for 4 and 5-year-olds, requested, well, backed by popular demand last year. 2 years ago, we hosted a camp for younger kids that went really well. We let younger kids into our camps, and since we only had a couple, we didn't allow the younger kids in last year, but we had a couple that were actually interested in, so we brought back programs for younger kids. So be on the lookout. That one will be in May. Our regular day camps will be in June and July. Spring Break Extravaganza will be in March. We are hosting that over the Williamson County Spring Break. So that will be a fun-filled week of programs and activities, perfect for families and children. So keep an eye out for that. We will post that actually shortly. We hope to increase our field trips and outreach programs. We are actually on track to do that because we have a field trip tomorrow. So we're starting off strong with that. We are increasing our Bowie homeschool attendance, and we're doing that by creating 2 different kinds of Bowie homeschool programs this year. So we have our first session of the month, which will be naturalist-led. It'll be an hour-long program with 30 minutes of lecture and a 30-minute activity. That one will require registration. And then the second program of the month will be open hours, where it's more self-led and activity-based. So they can come in anytime during the day and complete those activities. And then, as Ethan said, we're hoping to have online registration and reservations soon via GovWell. So we're looking forward to that. That has been requested ever since programming started. So I know the community is really looking forward to that. And then, of course, we look forward to continuing our partnerships with the Friends of Bowie Nature Park and other organizations. Okay, and back to the 2026 sponsorship opportunities. If you want to inspire early learning and outdoorsmanship for our youth, you may choose the book for our Bowie Storybook Trail and sponsor it. With that, you will be able to have your name or organization posted on our cover page on the Bowie Storybook Trail. So that you would be featured on the cover page, which is on that right bottom photo up there on the screen. If you would like to make camp slightly more affordable for our campers this year, you can sponsor our Camp Bowie shirts, put it towards our Camp Bowie shirt fund. We also have a tradition of geocaching during our summer camps. And way back when, our Friends of Bowie group was generous enough to supply us with GPS devices. We have about 10 to 12 of those, but they're old. Some are not functioning anymore, so we'd like to eventually upgrade those. And get some more because we've increased the number of campers that we're accepting. So that is our goal for this year. And then, of course, we always accept general donations or event sponsors. And of course, we offer different types of programs. We offer summer camps, homeschool, field trip and outreach programs, partnerships, our weekly interpretive programs, organizational projects, volunteer projects, and of course, we can always create special group projects or tailor educational opportunities for small groups as well. And to learn more about that, we have various types of guides. We have our Bowie Homeschool Guide, Volunteer Guide, and our Field Trip and Outreach Guide for details. All right, and to just briefly touch on this, I'm currently getting my Parks and Rec professional certification, and there's a lot of really good points that are being made that I'd like to kind of share with the community. They've been really eye-opening, even to somebody that works in our park system. So our parks aren't just a nice place to hang out with our family and it's not just something that might have a cool legacy behind it, but we also provide low-cost access to physical activity. Being in nature is proven to improve mental well-being. We provide access to education. We provide places for social connection. Excuse me. We strengthen environmental stewardship, and we build community pride. And your continued investment results in healthier residents, a stronger community, and a more resilient future of Fairview. And there's just 30 more reasons why the park system is so valuable to our community. This is just further breaking down more reasons or ways that the park contributes to our society, from benefits of the actual park facilities themselves to the benefits of our education programs, how the park system benefits our community and our economy, how the park benefits our environment around us, and how the park benefits different populations as well. And I invite you to connect with us. We have our Fairview Park System newsletter, our Bowie Nature Park website. Get in touch with the Friends of Bowie Nature Park, and they also have a newsletter. And if social media is your thing, of course, we have our Bowie Nature Park Facebook page, as well as the Friends of Bowie Nature Park Facebook page. And we hope to see everybody soon at our programs.
So Bree, I want to thank you and Keith and Kirsten and Zena and all your team. I've never in 33 years seen our parks so just, involved in bringing in the community to benefit our children all the way up to our seniors with all the different things you just said. So, you wow me every time you give your report. It's amazing. I'm speaking for myself, but I think the board, it's everything we want to see. And I'm just so excited for everything you and your team put together. It's really exciting for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Commissioner Roberts.
thank you. I want to echo that and just say I'm very pleased about the professional development that's happening. I think it's great that you're taking advantage of those opportunities and then bringing them back home to our park for everyone who uses them. And the fact that registration filled up so quickly is the greatest compliment to the work that you're doing, and also great encouragement for our park's future. So thank you all so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you all.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Commissioner Hall.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for your professionalism. This is an excellent report, and, the park has been my main thing for many years. My support for it has never wavered. So just want to thank all the Keith and you and Zena and Kirsten that I met the other day. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Item 8D is Police Department Report. Chief Humphreys.
Good afternoon, Board. I do have one grievance. She killed it, and who picked me to follow that?
I know, man.
I really don't want to follow that, but we will try. We're going to give the last quarter, but we're going to group that in with a year-end report and just kind of recap the whole year. So we'll go to the first slide. Those are our training hours per month for 2025, 5640 and a half for the year. Down a little bit from 6134 from the previous year. That had a little bit to do with accessibility of facility, and we all addressed that. We're on board with kind of getting our own place, and we're hoping that maybe middle of this year or the last quarter we're in that, and we see those numbers tick up, and we've got a little better place to do that stuff. So, but all in all, it was a very good year for training. Did accomplish a lot. Next slide. Overtime hours, and again, I described this last year, that it encompasses the Department of shift hour people. That's 7,800 shifts. That goes for call-out, special events, shifts extended, court, and we do have an additional overtime, which is the Governor's Highway Safety, but that's grant overtime. This is only overtime that is leveraged against our budgeted overtime line item. And for a year, that's, I think, 76 and a half hours down from 318 is very impressive management from my team. They've done a really good job at staffing and accomplishing the goal without taxing that overtime line item pretty well. So we're happy with that. Next one. Arrest for the year, 814 for both years. I don't know how we did that. We should have probably bought a lottery ticket because we're the exact same numbers. They're pretty consistent across the board for the months. That was our arrest totals for the year, 814. Next slide. Let's move to citations. Something we discussed the year before. Citations for the year was 1,400 versus 1,347 for 2024. The total traffic stops are 7,022 versus 5,825, and 19.9% result in citation. When you hear people say we're in it ticketing for profit or things like that, we absolutely have the data that shows we don't do that. What we're really trying to do is redirect the behavior, stop driving that would, in fact, cause accidents. You're going to see on the next slide how that comes into play. But we're really proud of the effort we do in that, although the general public doesn't like getting pulled over. Even when it's a warning, it doesn't disrupt their day. We ask that they conduct themselves in a manner around the streets to keep people safe. Next slide. So what we're showing here is from 2024 of 276 down to 238, a reduction by 13.8%. That is what proactive traffic enforcement does. It does lower accidents, especially when they see us out there. It is a suppressive technique. If you know we're in the area and we're doing that, you're going to slow down, and that has an effect on the traffic that moves through here. And we're going to continue that effort and hope that we can keep the streets safe. Next slide. Calls and activity. This is all the calls we get. It's activity, and the next slide is going to actually dive into this a little deeper. But this is everything that we get called or self-initiated activity. This could be a car broke down the side of the road. It could be a domestic. It could be a traffic stop that results in. Okay, that's okay. No worries. You good? No worries, you're fine. This could be anything, any activity that we do, and you'll see from 2024, that's a significant jump. We're getting busier from 11,721 to 13,438. It's 13,000 plus calls for the year, our activity. Next slide. So what I want to show is the calls and activity are on the left there from 2020 at 8166 to 2025. 13,438. That's a 64% increase in calls and activity. But I wanted to note this year something that I don't generally report because that's all of our activity, no matter what it is. But a case is actually something that there's additional effort from the officer. If a call or activity could be just a car that's broke down the side of the road. We pull up, we deal with it, and there's no report, no cases generated. It's just activity. It's things that we're doing. But cases are activity where we have some follow-up, whether it's an investigation, it's an arrest, it's a citation, it's something. So in 2020, we were 5,191. In 2025, we're 10,302 cases. It's different from calls and activity. That's a 98% increase in the effort and work that the officers are doing. That's a very significant increase. I thought it was important to tell you that. You see how it's trending up, how we're getting busier. Growth is here, and we've embraced that, and it's going to show in our needs and the needs of the city. Next slide. Criminal investigations. In 2025, there were assigned 156 cases, went down from 159 in 2024. They solved or cleared 126 of those. That's an 80.8% clear rate. Now, the little box to the top is kind of the national trends of data that I could gather of the clear rates as an average across the United States. And if you'll notice the bottom, property crime, a lot of our crimes here are property crime. The bulk of what we get is property crime that the detectives work. And the clear rate on the average in the nation is 17 to 18%, and our clear rate is 80.8%. very proud of that number. We've got a great team, and they're working very hard to solve and clear those cases. One special note at the bottom, I want to touch base on the Special Services Division. It was a division that I came up with and implemented a couple years ago, and they're kind of a catch-all. They do a lot of things. They have a lot of details and duties. But one of those was to stay on top of the warrant files, so the warrants that pile up in a filing cabinet that we either hard to find, people eluding us, invading us, and that unit, one of their tasks are to stay on top of those warrants and attempt to hunt down those individuals and execute those warrants. And they were able to do 64 of those this year, which was on top of a lot of the other things that they do. That's a pretty good number, tackling that backlog of warrants that are downstairs. Next slide. Happy to report our LISO program, something we're proud of, the hustling of equipment. There we $70,429 this year, to a total of $375,916 since its inception. And again, numerous items that we retain in the city, the stage, portable light stations that you see at the 3rd of July event, trailers, command posts across the street, all those things that we acquired at little to no cost. A great revenue item for the city there. And we hope that it's been a little slow lately in acquisition, not a lot on the site, but we're hoping that in the near future that opens back up and we're able to grab some more stuff. Next slide. Public relations, the Shop with a Cop, had a wonderful, wonderful year this year. We started out with, beginning the year with a fund balance in that of $5,400. Total donations was $8,065, and then our fundraisers were $12,463. We go into the year, each year with a target goal of about $15,000 to do that. This year we were able to sponsor 42 kids. Each child received $350. It was an amazing day. The partnership with the fire department with the breakfast that day, it was wonderful. 30 of our 31 officers were able to attend. We had one that was just unable to. And it was just a great event for the guys. Next slide. And just the last thing additional, drug fund revenue, and it's not drug from court cost and stuff, it's just seizure sales, things that we seized and went to gov deal auctions, was $10,258, and then our general fund revenue was just surplus sales of old equipment that we're getting rid of and stuff that you see on a spreadsheet that you vote for to move to surplus was $30,420. So all in all, a pretty good year of revenue there. That is it. Any questions? Thank you. Oh, yes, sir. You did a good job. I didn't kill it like her, but I limped through it. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right.
Chief,
Yes, ma'am.
now that I've gathered myself, I can talk. I just want to say thank you to all your officers. I hear quite a bit from the community that how respectful and kind they are even when they do, a traffic stop and stuff like that. So I just think we have such a great group, and the group is only as good as their leader.
I would like to add this. I spoke to the entire team this year at our Christmas gathering downstairs. And I told them that I didn't say this last year, and I didn't say it 5 years ago, and I've never said it, but I would say it this year, that this group I have right now, I think is the absolute very best group of people that I've ever had. And they are wonderful, and they do a wonderful job. They're human. They are going to make mistakes, but they do a wonderful job, and we're so proud of them.
Well, you just let them know that, I'm around the community all day, and they always speak so highly of, just help and kindness and just the respect they get from the young officers that we have. And it is the best I've ever seen. And
Thank you, ma'am.
like I said, it's reflective of the leadership. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Anything else?
yes,
Yeah.
real quick, Chief.
Sure.
I always like to look at the numbers, and I just want to emphasize again, 76.5 overtime hours.
Yes.
Down from 318.
Right.
That's tremendous. That's actually worth repeating. That's really tremendous. That's
is.
taxpayer dollars and still just being accountable and running a oiled machine.
What we're proud of is we accomplished the task at hand and everything we want to do and stayed within that. I mean, I contribute that to my administrative staff. They're responsible for staffing their people to get those things done, and I ask a lot of them. And they did a very, very good job of that, and I'm so proud of that.
Well, that's great. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good? Thank you.
Item 8E, Fire Department Report, Chief Hughes.
Mayor, Commissioner, good evening. This is it says third quarter up there, but it's fourth quarter. And then we'll have a year recap also in one slide. But for the fourth quarter, we ran, I've lost my spot on here. Total for the year was 1,747 calls. We ran, during the fourth quarter, we had 3 vehicle fires, 7 brush fires, 4 unauthorized burns, 2 structure fires in the city, 1 structure fire in the county we assisted with. We had 71 overlapping incidents, 41 mutual aid or automatic responses. Our average response time was down 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Part of that is staffing Station 32 out on the interstate. It's cut down the response time to that end of town by almost half on most of those calls in that area. Again, to report an emergency, first call should be 911. We still have people calling the station, leaving voicemails about structure fires. So just call 911. It's faster. Next slide. Fourth quarter call breakdown. You may see a little bit different names and stuff on the chart. This year, the federal government switched over their reporting platform. We got switched over in the fourth quarter, so some things may not be called what they used to, and there may be some holes in some of the data because both aren't recognized on there for the whole year. But again, rescue and emergency calls lead the way. We're about national average in the 75% range. Structure fires are up a little bit. We expect that sometime during this time of year. People are turning on heat, they're lighting fireplaces, things like that they haven't used in over a year and may not have maintained them. Next slide. This is our heat map. As you can see, we are starting to run more and more calls. The hotter areas are still in the same places, but as you can see, those dots are starting to spread out. We're getting more clusters, and some of those areas will start to show red and orange soon. This is the yearly totals. Again, 1,747 calls. That's an increase of 13.8% over 2024. Our structure fire or fire type calls were up 48%. EMS and rescue calls were up 13%. Overlapping calls were up 12% for the year. Auto and mutual aid was up 44%. Our response time was increased, and some of that was we didn't staff the station out on 32 until the 1st of November. So those response times should come down for the total for next year. And then our operating on-scene time was down this year over last year. Next slide. Fourth quarter fire prevention, that's our fire marshal, Sean Sullivan. He did 52 inspections and follow-ups. Again, no citations issued, just a few minor corrective actions were needed. We had 41 plan reviews. We had 12 pre-fire plans. And if any of the city residents need smoke detectors or alarms in their house, please contact us at the station. We're still part of the state grant program. We have plenty. They will replenish them if we run out. So call, we'll come and install those for you. Fourth quarter training. For training for the fourth quarter, we did 1,874 hours. That's the breakdown on the pie chart. We had driver training. We had some extrication training. We had our yearly physicals and physical agility. competency that we do every year for every firefighter, and lots of medical training also. And during the fourth quarter, we hosted the Commissioner Fire Academy, which all you attended. We had fit testing. We had some upkeep and maintenance on the training tower, annual physical agility and air competency test, and then Station 32 opened and we staffed it. The nearest data transition, that was a big thing for us. We had to transfer all our data from all the years to their new platform for the federal government, and that's what we report to where every one of our calls go in. And then we had the parades, the Christmas and the homecoming parade. And those are just some of the pictures of some of the things happen. The top right or top left up there is at Commissioner Camp. And then Station 32, those are the crews that are staffed out there now with the ambulance. I think that's it. Any questions?
I have a question. First off, thank you for being here. Second, I think you have the greatest single graphic on a slide. And back to that one, there's a term I don't know. What are overlapping calls?
So overlapping call is when we are out on a call, like we have a crew out on a call and we get another call. Now operating out of 2 stations, we can usually mitigate up to 3 calls at one time. So we could have 3 medical calls and that would deplete all of our resources. Or we could have 1 wreck and a medical call and that would deplete our resources. We could have 1 structure fire and that will deplete all of our resources, which we could not answer another call until we cleared up from some of those. So those are the overlapping calls. That just shows a sign of we're getting busier and busier, just like PD is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for this report.
And the graphic there is totally Jake Warren, our captain, our training captain. He did all that. So
Well,
that's him.
please congratulate him.
I will.
Yeah, he gets the ribbon tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mayor. One thing I noticed on there was the plan reviews, 41 of them this past year, just more or less for public information. That's for y'all to come in and review the plans for residential and commercial projects that come before the city.
Yes, sir. So we review the development portion of the project. We do not inspect residential homes. We basically review that for access, water, things like that. But then all commercial occupancies and commercial developments, we also review those. And the commercial occupancy, we are required to do an inspection every year. Sean does that. So every commercial occupancy in Fairview gets inspected once a year.
Basically for public information. I knew what all you did there, but I think the public needs to know what y'all do there as far as the those attendance at those meetings and everything.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8F, City Manager Report, Mr. Darty.
Thank you, Mayor. And Board, I've got a few things to report on tonight, and I'll probably stop after the first 3 and ask for if there are any questions. But I do have an update on the police training facility. Myself and 2 other CEC representatives attended Hickman County Planning Commission meeting on Tuesday, January 6th, and they voted in the facility unanimously in favor of. And so everything, it was kind of a, just going through the motions, but it was good to get that yes from the governing body. We put out bid for the training facility on December 23rd, and it's been going on. It went on. It'll close on January 27th. But we conducted a pre-bid meeting with potential contractors on Thursday, January 8th, and we had 13 general contractors in attendance. So there was quite a bit of interest in the construction of this facility. And then again, we will open publicly open sealed bids here at City Hall at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. And it is our hope to have the awarded bid on the February 5th Board of Commissioners meeting for you guys to vote on. So that's exciting, a 20-plus year dream or need that looks like is we're looking at July, August of this upcoming year to have them out there training, and that's exciting for the city. Any questions on that before I move to number 2?
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
So Doherty, we budgeted $1.2 million for the police training facility. Is that including the purchase of the property and the re-engineering costs, or is that going to be extra?
Well, we'll just wait and see what this bid comes in and see where we are. We'll take the lowest responsible bidder. Hopefully, we're going to be right there, close to that number.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
On number 2, the welcome signs update. As the bids opened up yesterday, advertising for the bids. The sealed bids will be publicly open and read at 10 a.m. on Monday, February 9th. I talked with all the information is on the website on both of these bids. Since I've been here at City Hall, since 2013, I don't know that I've ever seen 2 bids going on at the same time. It's kind of exciting. But I was talking with Kimberly Horn, and they said they've already had, after it's been out there one day, they've already had 8 people reach out for information, eight contractors. So that's exciting as well. Plan to have the awarded bid on the February 19th Board of Commissioners meeting for approval. We would love to have these constructed before the end of this fiscal year and have everything up and done. Any questions on that? Historical Village project update. I got a really exciting letter this past week. Appraisal for the property came in at $760,000, leaving the city's out-of-pocket portion at $340,000. I'm confident that the project can be completed with no tax dollars. I think we'll have enough landscaping and enough building permit revenue and parks if we need to not have to go in any other areas to grab funds. Exciting. It's a $2.2 million contract. Project and it's just kind of falling into place. The first phase of the LPRF grant is completed. The second, and of course, all this depends on the grant, of course, but the second and final phase will be due in April. And I know what Commissioner Buffalini is going to ask, and I do not have the answer. But I know you're going to ask, well, when will we have a notice if we've got it or not? And I'll get you that information soon. But it's I believe we can start the bid process once we get it in mid to right around fall area. So, but I can get you some specific dates. But if any other questions on that, I'll answer them. Hard copies of the bank balances as of December 30th, 2025 are included with this report. City Hall will be closed Monday, January 19th, in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And I wanted to remind everyone that there is a town hall meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. on Thursday, January 29th. That concludes my report.
Mayor?
Commissioner Roberts?
Thank you. Thank you so much for this report. It is exciting to see these projects all moving forward, and I appreciate your leadership on them. And it's really exciting that Historic Village can, if granted that we get the grant funding, but with no taxpayer dollars going into it is really exciting. So thank you for that. It's a great way to start the year.
Item number 9, consent agenda. 9A, minutes from December 4th, 2025, BOC regular meeting.
Second.
Ms. Jones?
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini?
Aye.
Mayor Anderson?
Aye. Item number 9 passes 5-0. Item 10, old business. 10A, Resolution 44-24, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fairview, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor to execute the site development agreement contract for Agnep expansion. City engineer, planner, Mr. Greer.
This is a site development agreement that came before you quite a while ago, and it had been deferred until tonight's meeting. The development has signed the document, and they are in accordance with everything that the city requires, and this is for the board to decide if the mayor can sign the document for the city tonight.
Any questions from the board? Ms. Jones? I'm sorry. Motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Roberts?
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Aye.
Mayor Anderson?
Aye. 10A passes 5-0. Item 10B, Resolution 62-25, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Fairview, City of Fairview, Tennessee, to formally accept the subdivision improvements associated with the Adams Preserve subdivision. Mr. Greer?
Staff is requesting a 60-day deferral for this item. They completed a portion of the remaining items that we had discussed at our last meeting, but they have not completed all of the items. And so we're asking for a 60-day deferral of this item, please.
I'll make a motion for item 10B, Resolution 62-25, for a 60-day deferral.
Second.
Ms. Jones?
Mayor Anderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini?
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald?
Aye.
Item 10B, 5-0 for deferral for 60 days. Item 11, new business. 11A, Resolution 01-26, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fairview, Tennessee, accepting the city's audit for fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. City Manager Tom Darty.
Thank you, Mayor, Board. This is just something we've always done. I mean, the state already has the audit, and it is what it is. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate our finance director, Ben Knox. He took the reins. It's for the second year in a row I've kind of been in the background and helped in certain areas, but he has come a long way in his 3 years and how city finances work. Really proud of his progress. But yeah, just had a good year financially. There's never enough money for what you want to do, but I feel like we spend everything responsibly and we're good stewards of the citizens' dollars. And I would love it if this is just saying you accept the audit and we move forward really.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments from the board? Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Roberts?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini?
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye. 11A passes 5-0. Item 11B, Resolution 02-26, a resolution authorizing the City of Fairview Fire Department to accept a grant from the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Fire Chief, Chief Hughes.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is just accepting a grant from Firehouse Subs. This is the third grant we've received from them since 2011. Total is roughly $7,600. It is non-matching. It is 100% from Firehouse Subs. Normally how this works is once we accept it, they actually go out and acquire the equipment and bring the equipment to us. So we don't even have to cut checks for anything. It just shows up one day. So just asking that we accept that. We're going to put in for 2 cutters, hydraulic cutters, to expand our rescue capabilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any comments, questions of the board? Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts.
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11B passes 5-0. Item 11C, Ordinance 26-01, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Fairview, Tennessee by rezoning a 62.53 plus or minus acre parcel located on 0 Horn Tavern Road, consisting of Williamson County Tax Map 022, parcel 04.00, 040.00, from RS40, single-family residential, to RS15, single-family residential. Property owner, James M. Moore. Mr. Greer, do you have a report for us?
This item comes to you tonight with a positive recommendation from staff and a positive recommendation for approval from the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission took this item up on December 9th, 2025. This item is listed as a request for RS15. RS15, there are several developments along Horn Tavern Road that are zoned this way. Pepper Tree being one, Hatcher Heights being another. This property is shown in the 2040 plan as new residential medium. And the new residential medium neighborhood has a appropriate zoning of RS40 and R20 with a PUD. For this project in particular, the lay of the land, with staff evaluating it, and the proximity to other neighborhoods that are of similar character, staff felt that RS15 was appropriate to move forward, and that was the recommendation given to the applicant. There's the representative tonight to answer any questions you may have.
Hi, Alex Becker. I represent Ecoterra. We're at 6700 Tower Circle, Suite 330 in Franklin, Tennessee. Happy to answer any questions.
I will entertain a motion to begin this. Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions from the board?
Mayor?
Mr. Roberts?
Thank you. Mr. Greer, did you say that you recommended an RS15, or was that just like in the conversations? I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand what you were saying in your staff report.
The 2040 comprehensive plan does not list RS15 as an appropriate zoning for this parcel. However, several parcels along Horn Tavern Road are all recommended the same way. And since those have developed under RS15, our staff looking at this, it would be congruent with the adjacent developments along Horn Tavern Road as a RS15 development.
What are the zoning, the current zoning of the adjacent properties?
RS40.
So they're surrounded by RS-40. Can you tell us some more of the characteristics of this particular piece of land? Like, is there any sort of water feature on it, or do any blue streams run through it?
I can speak to it.
You can speak to that, or I can speak to it as well.
I mean, you can back me up. So it's really a beautiful site. The majority of it is cleared farmland. The neighbor who is up here, I believe, bought the adjacent property a few months ago. I know that we had been in talks with the prior owner as well, so they were aware that, you know, we were kind of planning or hoping to develop it. But as you can see, that small pond up there, our intention is to leave that in, you know, its pristine condition. There's a beautiful tree canopy around it. The majority of that will stay untouched. As far as, you know, TDEC and engineering and everything, I know that we would ultimately take the appropriate steps. Obviously, we're not there yet. This is just for rezone, but, you know, it's a beautiful, mostly cleared site. If you're looking at the parcel itself, kind of where that dog leg is off to the right on the upper portion, that is where the tree canopy is, and the development would more or less remain in the larger cleared portion.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very descriptive. So, since you're bringing up like just sort of the idea of the development already, I guess you kind of have some of those in mind already.
Mm-hmm.
How many homes are you thinking of putting on this property?
So again, it's a, you know, kind of a moving target with the new ordinance and everything that we were looking at. You know, I think our most recent plan had, you know, 80 or 90 homes, which would be well below the threshold of what we could possibly do under the CD3, which it would ultimately translate to if, you know, y'all approve this new zoning ordinance plan. So we've kind of been, I don't know, because you're in this interesting position. We have to be looking at the current plan, but also be aware of, hey, all these changes may take effect. So we've been, you know, trying to plan accordingly, and I think we've probably met with Ethan half a dozen times over the last year. So.
And it sounds like the plan is to retain some green space and not to clear cut.
Yes, that's our intention, and just as a blanket statement, you know, EcoTerra, we do try to, even though it is often cheaper for a developer to come in and bulldoze everything, that's never our intention. Certainly, I can't remember off the top of my head what buffer requirements are under the new zoning or current zoning, but, you know, we like to keep buffers intact when possible, although this isn't really the case for, you know, the cleared portion already. We'll even leave, you know, buffers in between homes if the lots allow for it. But like I said, most of it's primarily cleared. It's just grazing land for cows at this point.
Okay, so it's not particularly rocky, but is it flat or is it hilly?
It's relatively flat, yeah.
Relatively flat. Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Mr. Greer, the Fairview Forward 24 plan does not have it listed as RS-15, but our staff is deeming it appropriate to have it zoned as RS-15 for future land use clarification. Can the staff explain how approving this request aligns with our adopted plan?
It does not align with the adopted plan.
At all?
This is the planning of this road and Horn Tavern in general, looking at where that plan, when it was adopted, what the future held for Horn Tavern, has never once been followed. That entire corridor, there have been 2 developments within the last 5 years that are RS-15 developments. One of them you can see on this map. It's in the top left-hand corner. The other one is directly beside that. And both of those are RS-15 developments. And looking at kind of the historical pattern of how Horn Tavern has developed, not necessarily with the Fairview Forward plan, but the history of that road, we felt that RS 15 was appropriate for this space.
This is one of the reasons why I really think that we should address the 2040 plan just for situations like this. Have we done any traffic studies, public safety studies, public works studies, or is there going to be any off-site improvements that are going to have to be done to this? Because both CCC Road and Horn Tavern are very narrow streets. To add 90 homes is, on average, I mean, you're adding 100 plus, no, almost 200 cars.
Correct. At this point of a rezoning, the requirements that we have today is for them to submit their request to this board to evaluate the request.
Right.
They would not perform any form of traffic study, hydrological determinations, any soil sample testing, anything of that nature until after they moved on. I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I would say you're probably under contract on this property. You have not closed on this property.
We have closed on it.
You have closed on the property. So they could perform those things on their own if they would like to. It is not a requirement of the city to do that. And even speaking about traffic, I know that's going to come up eventually with the new development code. You know, Mr. Becker spoke about having 80 to 90 homes. Our current regulation is that they do not have to perform a traffic study until 100 homes are in a residential development. The development code you have in front of you that was delivered tonight has that every residential development, no matter the size, has to perform a traffic study. And so those are some things I know that the developer here spoke about kind of being in between the new regulations and the old regulations. Our conversations, to be very candid, have leaned into bringing this in as the zoning that they would like based on the matrix of how it will translate into the new zoning code, and encouraging them to try and to conform more like the new development code versus our existing zoning ordinance. And so trying to move into the future has been our step from our staff, and that's what's been communicated to the developer.
Thank you.
Mayor. Vice Mayor McDonald.
So a couple things have been said, just kind of making my wheels turn. So you acknowledge it. We're in between our existing zoning regulations and this new one that we're moving to.
Mm-hmm.
The new one we're moving to, we're trying to right a lot of wrongs that the old one didn't catch, right?
Sure.
And I understand we can talk about encouraging and all of that, of you guys taking into consideration the new zoning regs, if I'm sure without some catastrophic event taking place, those will be approved prior to you probably breaking ground.
Yes.
However, to Mr. Greer's point, it would be us basically asking politely if you followed those. Me personally, I have nothing against the development, even the size of the lots that you're trying to do on the lot, on that piece. However, we've talked about the new zoning regulations that are triggering traffic studies at a lower threshold. I don't know if you guys have plans on doing it or not.
Yeah. If it would, and again, that kind of thing comes up at concept. If we had to do one, we would certainly do one. I know that from our conversations and given how busy and fast people drive on Horn Tavern, I believe the entrances would be on CCC Road. But yeah, as far as traffic study and all that kind of stuff, whatever was asked of us.
I think that's a valid point. I mean, Horn Tavern does have some excessive speeds at times by some of the people who use that road. However, it's not really the you getting on the Horn Tavern from that piece that's the concern of mine. It's more of every connection to Horn Tavern at either end, as well as like Cleveland that people use to get to 96. It's just, they're all less than ideal. Even for the existing traffic flow. And I think, to Commissioner Buffalini's point, if we add another 180, 200 cars to that, there could be some issues. Now, again, I don't think that there'll be a day that you do that. I just think that the new zoning regulations would be better to adhere to that. Seeing that it's not in line with the 2040 plan, the most appropriate thing to do would be to do a PUD on it. Obviously, you're not going to, PUDs are going away, and you wouldn't have the time to get that done prior to the zoning regulations changing. So for me, with it not being completely in line with the 2040 plan, the sensitivity of Horn Tavern Road, and then just the future requirements the new zoning code is going to carry, I would like to see you to wait until that is in place.
Mr. Greer, can we be assured that this new zoning code is going to be passed in February?
This new zoning code will be passed whenever there are enough votes but from the Board of Commissioners to pass it.
Because there was a date in the beginning that was before the end of the year. That didn't happen. February could come and go, and that may not happen. And in my mind, the way I've calculated, we're looking more towards late spring and June. And I've always said that because I feel like with the citizens' comments being taken into consideration, this board reviewing it, I just do not believe that this is going to be done in February. So I guess my concern would be it aligns with the different developments on Horn Tavern. I feel like just like Cumberland Estates and some of the other developments that are this R15, they're good sized lots that are affordable, more affordable than bigger lots. And I am glad that they're single family homes and not townhomes, that I feel like we're a little heavy, townhome heavy right now. So I feel like it's a community of homes that are more affordable for our young people. And I'm always looking out for that because I've got 2 young people who live with me and they can't afford anything out here, but they work out here. So it's very hard for some of our teachers, police, fire, and young people in our community to be able to afford these larger lots and larger homes. So I'm excited about development that comes in with, a good sized lot, a nice sized home, but more affordable for people who can't afford $1 million home. So I'm just not, in my opinion, wanting to hold people back waiting on the zoning ordinance when we can't say that it's going to be done in a certain amount of time. So that's my thoughts.
And if I could just add, that's actually kind of why we are requesting the rezone, kind of parallel with, hopefully, everything passes in February and, then we'll fall under that anyway. But the reason for, requesting the RS-15 and even how we've designed the concept plan, which if it gets to that point, you will see, it is, in line with the CD3 that it would be. If you were to grant us the zoning and then we, say it did get delayed till June or whatever, when it came about at concept, if y'all wanted to add, things like traffic studies and making sure we check these boxes that maybe have not been previously required under the current zoning, I mean, we would be comfortable with that, especially if it's, just a matter of time before the new ordinance comes into play.
Mayor?
Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you. And thank you for being here and thank you for what you said. I like what you're saying, but I also, anyone who's listened to our meetings knows that I am really grateful to hear Vice Mayor McDonald say that we should wait until we're done with this. We have just a couple of months, and it won't be February, by the way. It'll be March. The last public hearing is scheduled for March 5th right now. But while I agree that we need homes that are affordable, and not all homes that are priced out for people. We also need to take this opportunity to take our time and do our development code properly. And if the timeline would not be much changed, and you would be willing to make those changes later anyway, then I would say it would make a lot of sense for us as a board to wait until we know what we are actually approving. And I'm really grateful to hear other board members say that, because it's what makes good sense, and we are so close. But we really have to get into the details now, and we can't say today what that will be for this property or any other property.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Thank you. Just prior to this meeting, our planning department had posted or sent out an email to the board, and I believe they posted it as well, that we are going to have a work session, a joint session, regular meetings of the City Planning Commission, and then it's going to be going to two public hearings for the Board of Commissioners on February 19th and March 5th. Mr. Greer, do you see anything changing from those dates, and why it would push us to defer it even longer than to close it out and vote on it on March 5th?
At this point, it is in the hands of the folks who vote. I am here to bring the document to all of you, and it is up to you to review it and to make that decision.
Okay, I tend to agree with both Vice Mayor and Commissioner Roberts as well. I think this is something that should be waited on. We're so close to the end line right now. I just think this is something that we should really think about. Something you had said earlier, Mr. Greer, that didn't sit well with me is that all these Pepper Tree and some of the other locations were RS40, and then we changed it to RS15. And none of them lined up with our 2040 plan, and it's going to happen again, and then it's probably going to happen again and again and again, and it's going to keep happening. And then when does it stop? I think it should stop now, and we should wait until March 5th when we pass our new ordinance. Thank you.
Can you guarantee that we're going to pass this on March 5th?
It will be up for a vote on March 5th.
So if there are citizens who would like to see changes made, could that delay the process like it has when we assumed that it was going to be done in December?
If this board would like to see changes, then changes will be made.
And that would delay the vote?
If this board sees fit to defer that vote to a later date, then it would be however the Board of Commissioners sees.
Feasibly, we're asking any developer that comes before us before this final vote on this zoning ordinance, basically, we're just going to ask them to wait on their projects, possibly. Because that's what's being done. So possibly that could be how we're going to move forward.
If I could just ask, just so I fully understand the process, even if, say that you were to give us the rezone and, you know, everyone votes in favor on March 5th and everything is on the same timeline, we would still fall under the new ordinance. So right now, I mean, this isn't a concept plan that we're bringing forward. I would bring, you know, that back under the new ordinance after March 5th. So wouldn't, Ethan, if you could explain that to me. I was just asking procedurally, so say, you know, we were able to get the rezone and March 5th comes and everything's on track and the new ordinance gets approved, you know, whatever, you know, if we were to get approved for the RS15, it would become CD3, which the concept plan that we would bring back in front of you would have to reflect?
Correct.
Okay.
Could you give a definition for CD3?
CD3 is a medium-density neighborhood that permits 4 homes per acre for maximum density. It does have requirements for open space, has requirements for civic space. The minimum lot size, I believe, is 70 feet in width.
And again, I know that we don't have the concept plan in front of us, but as we've drawn it, we have, larger than the 70-foot lots. We're only shooting, even if it's 90 homes, that is well below the, 64 times 4 that we could in theory be allowed density-wise, so it's not overly dense.
So basically, the number of lots that he's asking for would align with the CD3 product.
Correct.
So if we ask him to, is there any repercussion if his zoning is turned down tonight?
He would have to wait for a year, I believe, to file an application unless this board were to give him leave to refile it.
This is just the first reading of it, though, right?
That's correct.
We're
It
not
is the
voting
first
on it
reading.
tonight.
We are
Right.
voting.
Oh, we are voting. I'm so
yes,
sorry.
But it would require,
We're
requires 2
voting on
votes
this
to
reading
rescind.
and then the second, but if we turn it down, that's
Well,
what I was asking.
I mean, of course, we're voting on it, but it's not dispositive tonight. The decision isn't being
Well,
made
it's
tonight. We're having
dispositive if you vote
discussion.
no tonight, you won't have a second reading.
You won't have a second reading.
Yeah.
And if we don't have a second reading, we're having him wait for a whole year just because we're wanting to delay for a couple months.
Yeah, thank
Mayor,
you.
if I can clarify my position. I, speaking for myself, am not in the camp of delaying any and everything that comes in front of us until we have our new zoning regulations in place. However, a lot of 60-plus acres that is asking to be flat zoned for R15, that I'm sure you're a fine individual and I trust that what you're telling us is accurate. However, that would allow for much greater count on that property.
I agree.
You could easily turn around and sell it after it got rezoned to somebody who had the ambitions of stuffing as much on there as possible. It's happened before. Our new zoning regulations are going to have a lot of things in place to prevent things like that from happening, allowing us to the city to have a lot more control over the look and everything that happens on that property.
Yeah.
So due to those reasons and the size of this particular development and the impact that it will have on that area of the community, I'm a no tonight. So if you want to risk that, based on what you've heard, we can move forward to a vote, or you could ask to defer it yourself until maybe after.
I
this
did
is
not
in
realize that if we got a no tonight.
And
it would
that is,
put us
thank
back a
you,
year.
Vice Mayor, because that is exactly where I was going.
Yeah, I
You
would
need to know
certainly.
that if it's a no tonight,
Yeah, I
then you
would.
have to wait a year, and if you don't want to have to do that, then
Yeah.
I guess the only option would be to defer it until after the zoning
Let's-
ordinance is in play.
If I could request a 60-day deferral, so we would get into March, that should be enough.
I'll make a motion for a 60-day deferral.
Second. Mayor, if I may add to, just as good faith to you, sir.
Please.
I have no issues with what you're trying to do on that property. I think it does work for the area. The problem that I have with it is the flat zoning on the eve of zoning regulations that are going to prevent a lot of mistakes that have been made in the past. If you were asking for a pod right now,
Oh, yeah.
it would be a different conversation. I don't think I would be as opposed to it. It's the flat zoning piece that just makes me nervous. And in the world of building and construction, a couple months isn't going to put you underwater, I wouldn't think, so.
I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I know I uploaded the concept plan, or as far as we had gotten with the application, but I'll send that out as well. Just show good faith. But thanks.
So I have a motion and a second for deferral. Ms. Jones?
Mayor Anderson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor McDonald,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts.
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Buffalini.
Aye.
Item 11C, 5-0 for deferral for 60 days. Item 11D, Parks and Landscape Board. Mr. Darty.
Thank you, Mayor, Board. This was, I think, in reference to an email that was just sent out to the board and to several folks on some items that the Park and Landscape Board wanted to look at. And I met with Keith Paisley and David Dodaro to discuss ways to enhance the function of the Park and Landscape Board. And as there's, in your little report I gave you, there's two documents, Ordinance 2024-07 and the City of Fairview Parks and Landscape Board bylaws, which are the two governing documents for the Park and Landscape Board. The ordinance is clear that the Park and Landscape Board works directly with and for the Board of Commissioners. A park employee is required to be at meetings for informational purposes. Other than that, no staff collaboration or involvement is mentioned. So it kind of puts staff in a, we kind of feel like it's not really our duty to go any further. I think after we talked a lot and in much deliberation, we concluded that more communication between the Park and Landscape Board and the Board of Commissioners may be the best start. Mr. Dodaro suggested to schedule a work session with the BOC to discuss his email sent on December 29th. After that, he would like to report quarterly on Park and Landscape Board activities. Keith and I said we'd make ourselves available to the Park and Landscapes Board to provide information on the city's status on any requested items. Other than that, I don't, unless there's different wording or there's a change in the ordinance, I don't see that staff can do anything other than provide the Park and Landscape Board with information. Thank you.
Would you please state your name and address for the record?
Absolutely. David Dodaro, 7551 Cherokee Hills Road, Fairview, Tennessee. I am the chairman of the Parks and Landscape Board. My term ends this June. As requested in the December BOC meeting, to have the members of the Parks and Landscape Board make a list of future wants, wishes, items, ideas. This was a collaborative effort in our January meeting. I'm sorry it was lengthy, but we went through each and every park property and potential park properties, the Dice Lamsley and Deer Ridge also. You guys have any questions or comments? I know a lot of it's not nailed down, but if you guys have any questions on the email that I sent out on behalf of the board, I'm happy to discuss them with you.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
So in our budget, we have budgeted $100,000 for Veterans Park upgrades. Do any of these projects fall under the usage of that $100,000 that is allocated for Veterans Park?
There's been nothing from the park staff that has, as of this fiscal year, those numbers may change with the amended budget. But as of right now, there's nothing that we've had talks on things that we would like to see happen, but nothing, we haven't put any plans, asked for any engineering or anything like that. It's been talk.
Okay, you used the word amended budget. Are we going to be amending the budget again in the near future? Do you know of, or?
Yes, it should be in the next meeting or two.
Okay.
Mayor?
Commissioner Roberts?
Thank you. Mr. Daugherty, in the last conversation that we had about the Parks and Landscape Board, you mentioned that you think that there's like structurally just sort of difficulty going from the board from this Board of Commissioners to the Parks and Landscape Board. And something you said when you were introducing this topic made me wonder, and I might have misconstrued it somehow, but made me wonder if you think that it would be helpful if we had a step between the BOC and the Parks and Landscape Board in the way of maybe staff. So if we had more of a direct to staff instead of board to board. And maybe I just kind of read into something you said, but I was wondering if you thought there still should be a structural change, or if you think that, I'm just kind of looking for your advisement, if you think more like a work session between us would help, or do you think we still need to consider options?
The history on there used to be two boards, a tree board and a park board, and they were combined in the Parks and Landscape Board. We have to have, this is considered our tree ordinance, we have to have that in order to be a tree city. And 95% of this document is related to tree protection, conservation, different there's topics on the tree bank fund in there. There's only 5 lines that discuss, well, if you go on the ordinance on page 4, where it says duties of Parks and Landscape Board, 8, 9, 10, and 11 deal with other parks. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners approval or denial of all departmental requests that expend funds from the tree bank fund. Number 9, review and assess City of Fairview, Tennessee Parks Master Plan, including policy action recommendations. Discuss and recommend to the Board of Commissioners how to implement the recommended policy actions, to include but not limited to general policy actions, facility actions, programming recommendations, and operations and maintenance recommendations. 10, serve as Citizen Advisory Board to the governing body in regard to the maintenance, tree planting in public property, and special projects in the City of Fairview Park System, and other duties that may be assigned by the Board of Commissioners. I was kind of thinking there may be some type of collaborative approach that, as staff is working on these things, there's a miss. The Park and Landscape Board is going around and getting their own ideas and trying to bring them to y'all. Of course, we're working on projects as well, and there's no communication other than park staff being at that meeting monthly. And I believe some of the members of the Parks and Landscape Board are getting discouraged because they don't really know their place or know what their function is. And I think getting together and just the board and the Park and Landscape Board discussing might be a great place to start. Now, if y'all want to rewrite anything in this ordinance to where staff has a role, we would be fine with that. But as of it is right now, we're just supposed to, if they ask us for information, we're trying to make ourselves available. So in a roundabout way, it would take an amendment to this ordinance to get more staff involvement.
Thank you.
Mayor? I just wanted to echo, I think it's a good starting point to get us all in the room and talk about what the future looks like. I agree with that. Getting landscaping, BOC in a room, talk to you guys about what you want it to look like, what works, what doesn't work, what you would like your responsibilities to be. I know this will clear up some of that, but I think just a good brainstorming session would probably get us a lot further than piecemealing a conversation in business meetings back and forth.
So when shall we meet?
I can talk with, I can have Keith, or I can talk and look at the calendar, and we can get a work session scheduled before we can throw out some options. I mean, unless y'all want to schedule it tonight. I don't know if you have your calendar with you, but
I'm good.
I think I don't know what everyone's schedule looks like, but maybe we could consider the next planned landscaping meeting, we just make that a workshop.
So would that be the first Monday in
First Mon-
February?
February 2nd,
Groundhog Day.
Monday night.
Casual attire.
Yeah, yeah. We don't take roll call or anything. We're appointed.
You guys meet here now, correct?
Yes.
7 o'clock?
7 PM, City Hall, February 2nd.
Thank you, Mr. Toto, for your leadership on the board.
Thank you very much for recognizing us.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Mr. Dotter, I just want to say thank you very much because I served on that board with you prior to me being elected as city
Yes, you did.
commissioner. And you and I have had many conversations about doing what we just discussed tonight.
Yes.
And I've been on this board for now over a year. So it's been taking that long to get this far. And I appreciate your patience and the board's patience as well. But we're definitely going to work on getting this together. So thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11E, discussion Fairview Ballpark, City Manager, Mr. Darty.
Thank you, Mayor. I was asked to look at the physical, economic feasibility of reclaiming the Fairview Ballpark. I do want to tell you off the bat that the option is there. The county has voted that we can reclaim it if the board so chooses. The pro is it's an asset, so 30.3 acre property that'd be on the city's books. The costs, $150,000 reimbursement for lighting investment and approximately $60,000 annually to maintain the park. The city would be responsible for 100% of capital improvement costs and 100% of expansion costs and any other maintenance costs that come up. I met with Shannon Crutcher, president of Fairview Recreation Association, and he told me that the board is neutral. They don't care who owns the property as long as their costs don't go up. I think right now each participant pays $10, and that goes to the county. So I think that's approximately $5,000 a year that the FRA sends to the county. I've talked with Gordon Hampton pretty excessively, and he states that they're neutral. They're neutral on. They just want the city to do what they feel is in its best interest. I just put down in here in my notes. Williamson County has much more financial resources than the city. The city can always partner with the county for upgrades, as we have in the past with the lighting. And the Williamson County has maintained and managed the Fairview Ballpark since 1996 and has a good relationship with Fairview Recreation Association. Some of my observations, I feel like the $150,000 startup costs and $60,000 annually for maintenance would strain the budget. We've funds for future capital improvements and/or expansion would be competing with other capital needs that I feel are a high priority for the city. Basic infrastructure needs and also public safety facilities, other facilities in the city. And I guess the last observation, and I just feel like the city lacks the expertise to manage the park or to become get into the youth sports business. I think Williamson County Parks and Recreation has been doing it a long time, and they're much more fitted to provide a better service than the city at this time to our youth. But with all that said, it is on the table, and the county is willing to do whatever the city wants to do. And I've got the resolution from the county behind there. I've also got a document that was at the last meeting that Gordon Handon put together. He did say there were a few costs that he didn't add in, but for the most part, I think that's close, close to what it would cost to run it annually. And I guess that's about all my observations, and I feel like I grew up in youth sports. My granddaddy was instrumental in getting the Fairview Ballpark here in the first place. I have a strong heart for our youth and youth sports. I think it does builds character, builds all kinds of traits. But at the end of the day, I would just like to see what's in their best interest done, and that's all I have to say.
Any comments or questions from the board?
Just one, Mayor. Where are we at with this? Is the county waiting on a response from us, or are they just in the camp of, if you want to go forward, reach back out, or like, is there any action or any resolution that needs to be brought to this?
Yeah, we would have to reach out to them, and then there a contract or it would be set up, and then the terms of the transaction would have to go down. But as far as
That's if we say yes. If we're not interested, is there anything?
It just lays. But they did in this resolution. They gave Mayor Rogers Anderson the ability to perform all the documents that if the transaction were to take place.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Mr. Daugherty, is there a timeline on this that we have to give them an answer by? Is there a deadline?
Not to my knowledge. I don't. I think this is. It just says they didn't get. There's no timeline in it. It's just they give their permission. Now I think I guess it would. I know they're fixing to have an election, but I think this would probably carry forward and be withheld, even if there's another mayor in place.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a refresher, is there something that brought this on? Like, why is this coming forward now? Does anybody know, or did it just maybe happen to just appear?
I think there has been some interest in Fairview reclaiming the ballpark property out there, and I believe Rogers Anderson was approached, and he has agreed, and of course the county has agreed. Now, they're not. There's in order for any of that to happen, it would have to be board approved. So.
Thanks. And one of the documents we have is this budget sheet, and I think this is the same one that County Commissioner Jones brought to the previous meeting, isn't it?
Yes, the one on the back.
But wasn't that one, like, there was a lot of discussion about it not even being fully accurate? I mean,
it's not totally accurate. I think there's a few. It's close, but that's ballpark. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Mayor.
Commissioner Hall?
Mr. Daugherty, do you think that possibly we should have a meeting with the board of the Fairview not the recreation center, but the softball league, and sit down and see what their future needs is gonna be.
If that's something the board wants me to schedule, I can schedule that. I've talked with the president and they've had meetings and he has told me how the board feels. They just don't want us to own the property and then just start flooding them with fees, is it pretty much exact words. But I can set up whatever meetings you want me to.
I know the, that FRA group, and I believe there's a representative here tonight, they're pretty open to having individuals join their meetings if we want to talk to them. I'm sure, Commissioner, if you reached out to them, found out when their next meeting is. I think, Mr. Howlers, you guys meet once a month?
We meet this coming Monday night at 7 o'clock.
And I'm on the agenda for that
You're
meeting
on it?
because they are actually going to vote if their board would like to see this happen.
Well, it's probably best to wait and see how that discussion goes then, huh?
Well, I have a question about that with legal. Wonder if two of us commissioners show up. Mr. Carter?
Can't happen.
I didn't think so.
You can show up and observe, but you can't deliberate, meet, or discuss.
You're saying that this is something we're going to vote on and it's okay for us all to join in on
And
this meeting?
I said you can attend the meeting, but you can't discuss, deliberate, participate, talk to each other.
But that's what I'm saying. If everyone comes
I think it
to
will be
that
hard
meeting
for you
to-
all not to do that, because I know how y'all
Yeah,
are.
I don't
So
think
I
it's
think
a-
it's probably a bad idea.
I think
but
it's a bad
I'm not going to tell you if you all behave and that it absolutely can't be done. I think it's probably not a good idea. I think you probably need to let them have their meeting and have their discussion and then come back and tell you how they feel about it at some future date. And then you can have another discussion and then decide whether you want to vote to pursue the park or not. I think there's still additional information that you don't have yet that you probably need to have before this discussion goes any further, from what I understand about it.
We had a legislative session last week, and Mayor Rogers Anderson and I spoke, and he told me that this was coming before the county board, going to be voted on, and then he called me and told me that it passed. All but one of the members passed it, and that basically it was our decision now. And then I was asked to attend the Monday night meeting where the Fairview Rec Association is going to vote just to answer any questions and bring back to the board what was determined at their meeting.
Mayor?
Commissioner Buffalini?
Mr. Daugherty, is prior to their FRA meeting, are you able to draw up some ideas of what their responsibility would be if it were to change hands from the county to the city? So that they even have a better idea of what they are voting on or not?
No. I would have consult folks. I'm not in the youth sports arena. I don't. It's going to be an endeavor. And just making sure everybody's insured, everybody's compliant, everybody's following the rules, and then we'll have to hire staff. We'll have to. It'll be an undertaking. But if it's what this board chooses to do, we will get on it.
So would it be fair to ask them to draw up some sort of their ideas of what they would?
No, I wouldn't be interested in any of that. I would go to professional consulting company that I feel good about.
Okay. I just know, like, right now, I don't believe there's any personnel there from the county that, other than people that come there and mow the lawn, that's about it. Which they already have a separate line item for maintenance up at the ball fields and common grounds, and the volunteers there take care of all the fields themselves. And with the registration fees, they take care of everything else. It's just the county that maintains the outer property of the baseball fields themselves. I'm just putting that out there, and they have a almost $11,000 line item for part-time personnel, which I don't believe that there are any personnel there from the county, and it's all volunteer staff of residents that live here in Fairview that maintain that, and Mr. Hollows is one of them that just dedicates his life to that ball field.
And I totally get it. I mean, we if it wasn't for a few select individuals, that just, give a lot, 90% of the work comes from 5% of the folks usually.
Yeah.
So I think we would have to set it up to where it would limit the city's liability, and figure out what our role is. I think, I think a lot of the issues is with why it went to the county in the first place is because the city couldn't afford to maintain it. So, I don't want to fall back into that same situation. If we got to build a new ball field or replace fences or the concession stand needs to be upgraded or, all these different items that happen, we need to have a mechanism to, A, fund it, B, stay on top of it. And I'm all for any FRA running it, but they have to be accountable to somebody, and we got to get that mechanism set up as well.
But thank you.
I hear you, Mr. Daugherty, and for what it's worth, I would like to have an opportunity to go talk to the board also, even before we have further conversations. It feels like there are just too many unknowns, but it also sounds expensive. I think it's an interesting idea, but the timing might not quite be right. But I think we need more information about that anyway. So I'd just like some more time just to the board. I just want some time for them to talk about it, for us to figure it out, for us to get an accurate budget reading, and then to maybe get through some of these other projects.
Y'all just let me know what y'all like me to do as far as I would strongly suggest not getting I would take it to see what they want to do and then go from there.
Yeah, I'm just curious if there is a stipulation on that contract of a time frame. I didn't read anything there.
It's not. It's just a resolution. It's not. Yeah, it's not saying that they've got to do anything. It's just they will if we so choose.
So we could leave it in place for.
I don't know.
I guess Mr.
I
Carter
may.
can answer
I think that's a resolution that was passed by this current governing body. So anytime there's an election, change their name. A resolution is just their intent. So that could be their intent, and then they could go and vote on it next week, and they could vote something completely different.
Okay.
Or the makeup of the body could change in 2 years, or when there's a new county mayor elected, and it could change. So that's just a reading of their intent when they pass that resolution, and I wouldn't read any more or less into it than that.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
In my conversation with Mayor Rogers Anderson, he specified that he would like to see a decision one way or the other before he retires this year. Anything else from the board? Okay. Item number 12 is roundtable mayor and commissioners. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Just want to thank all the city employees for all their hard work. Done thank the Parks Department, the Fire Department, and the Police Department. Ethan, I want to thank you and your staff that brought this ordinance on the codes and everything. You put a lot of work into this, and I do appreciate it. Tom, you and Ben have done a great job with the audit, and I want to thank you and any other staff that helped you with that. So anyway, that's all I had. Oh, one other thing, I want to thank the Public Works boys for planting the dead trees back that we've, up at the Cloverleaf. There was 8 eastern red buds and 2 red maples that was planted, and it looks good. It's they've done a good job to help us out up there, so I want to thank them too. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Buffalini.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here this evening. I do want to thank the 2 mayoral candidates, Andy Marshall, thank you very much for coming, and Todd Kastner, thank you very much for coming. And also, I'm sure we're going to see their faces more often around Fairview as well. So thank you very much for coming. I appreciate the planning department and what they've been doing, and I know it's been rough, and I know that I'm hoping that we have some headway on hiring assistants over there. So that would be great to get an update shortly on that. Also, Mr. Greer, would you be able to share that picture that you have on your laptop right there? That picture is just another rendering, just to reiterate to the citizens of what it's going to look like, our welcome to Fairview sign. There it is. Excellent. So I know I've been getting a lot of requests. Hey, what does that look like again? What does that look like? So thank you very much for putting that up there. We appreciate that, and it's nice to get a good look at that. I just want to say thank you to everybody that participated in our Christmas parade, and Parks Department, our Public Works Department, for putting the tree up and doing everything that they've been doing. It's been unbelievable. And I know he's not here tonight, but Mr. Richard Ross, for everything he's been doing and organizing all of our events. He's a tremendous asset to this city, as well as every employee here. So I just want to say thank you very much for that. That's it. I'm going to cut myself short tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone who's here tonight. Thank you to the staff and to all the folks who have stayed and shown up. Thank you to our county mayor candidates for coming and speaking with us. And I've been asked by the Friends of the Fairview Public Library to let everyone know about their upcoming Fairview Winter Book Sale. So for members, it starts on Wednesday, February 25th, but for everyone else, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, February 26th through 28th. Starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 4 on that Thursday and Friday, and going till 2 o'clock on Saturday. And we'll repeat this. There'll be advertisements all over the place. But just so you know, the book sale is also a great place to get games, puzzles, movies, and CDs. And just remember, all of the proceeds support the Fairview Library activities, book collection, and programs. So help with those early literacy programs and the Friends of the Library. And we kind of glossed over this a little bit, but I just really want to congratulate Commissioner Hall on the accomplishment of the land trust sign in Bowie Park. I know that's been a long time coming and something that's been very important to him. So I'd like to acknowledge that accomplishment and say thank you for that. And I'm just really glad to be back up here. We had such a long break. A little rusty, but it's great to see everybody again tonight.
Vice Mayor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Thanks for everyone who came out and commented. Thanks for the candidates showing up and remembering that Fairview's over here. We always love to see our county representatives coming out here and seeing Fairview. To planning staff, long time coming. I know there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this thing. To have the first final draft in hand is a step in the right direction. So just seriously, thank you. I know it was a heavy lift and there's a lot still yet to be done, but I appreciate it. Just hope everyone had a good holiday. Stay warm out there and go Bears.
Oh my gosh, if I hear that again. Half the planning commission, like, go Bears. I'm like, are y'all all Bears fans? Everybody from Chicago or something? I don't know. That's funny. I guess I'm just a little hurt over my Steelers loss. So, man, lost our coach and quarterback and game all in one night. I'm just like, so sad. Anyway, tough night. I want to congratulate Ben Knox and Mr. Daugherty on the clean audit.
we started together a little over 3 years ago, and, you know, it was a little bit of peeling back an onion for a while, and with a lot of things, but, you know, Tom has done no one knows behind the scenes what he has done and what he had to do to get us where we are today, and we're in the best shape I've ever seen our city in, ever. And I've lived here well over 30 years. And he was, you know, moved from our, you know, over, Ben has a position now, but, you know, our finance director, and then, you know, Tom took on the job as city manager and has done a great job, but peeling back that onion, just, you know, getting to what, you know, what's going on, and making things happen, and just having such a great group of people around you that do such a great job. I'm excited to see where 3 years have brought us to, and you've worked so hard, and I just appreciate everything you do and what you've had to accomplish to get us where we are here today. So I appreciate you. And, you know, the zoning ordinance, we're writing something that's gonna be here for a while. So I know you know, I was thinking about what I said about, you know, we're looking at December and then now moving into March, but, you know, if it takes us till whenever, we've got to get it right. Because if we don't get it right, we're going to spend a lot of time and money trying to fix things. So it's not a rush. It's let's work together as a community and a planning board and a board of commissioners to get this thing right, and not so much look at dates, but just make sure that we have a good document that is good for our whole community and our developers and our board. And I appreciate, you know, Ethan and all your group and all of us who've worked so hard to review that. I gave an update at the Planning Commission, and I said I was going to do the same here. I know our community, they talk to me about it all the time. They want Highway 100 widened. Realistically, we're not going to be there for at least 10 years. This is a state highway. I'm in talks with TDOT all the time. Jay Norris, he's representative of TDOT, and we're in constant conversation. But I just would love, you know, one thing that I was trying to think, what would be good for Fairview? What would, in the interim, what could we do? What could we ask for? And I do believe in my heart that turn lanes throughout our community, it's so hard to have some places that have them and some places that don't, especially our wonderful Bowie Nature Park with all of the people who visit it every month. It's really hard to get out of Bowie Nature Park and not have a turn lane there. So I've been talking with Jay, and they're looking at funding, and State Representative Lee Reeves, and all the way up to them talking to Bill Lee, because we've got money coming in, extra money for transportation through our governor and the state to be able to work on things that we feel like are critical. And I do feel like this is something critical for us, since we are on a 10-year plan for the widening. But that's what I kind of hope that they can work together for us, is to get those turn lanes in throughout our community. So as I find out more about that, I'll update everyone. Great staff reports. I appreciate all of our city staff. We have a great city staff. It's the best I've seen ever since, you know, we've been here and we've had staff. Just good comments. Park's doing great. Our public safety's doing great. So I just wish everybody a happy new year. This is the first meeting we've had since the new year, so I wish our community and our staff a Happy New Year. And as I always say, let's just keep Fairview beautiful and pick up trash and not throw it out. And our next Board of Commissioner meeting will be February 5th. We do have a town hall at the end of this month. I am out of town with my daughter, so lucky you. Vice Mayor McDonald will be heading up our town hall. So bring some good questions and ideas to the board. But I try never to miss those, but my daughter has something very important that she wants me to attend with her, so family first. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.